Morning, everybody. Welcome to Hot Topics, the Don Lemon Show, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. It is 7 a.m. out west, and there you see Charles Latibeaudiere, who is of the TMZ. And by the way, I just want to apologize in advance for the connection issue. We have a connectivity issue. It's interesting because on my screen, Charles, you're black on the YouTube.
I am black, Don. I don't know what.
Well, I mean, it's a black screen.
Oh, you mean you're only seeing a black screen? Okay,
YouTube.
all right. I just want to be clear, brother. All right.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I think we should, if you guys look on the YouTube, we should take that Charles down because I cannot see him on the YouTube, and then we'll just put his name up there. Charles from TMZ. Charles, okay. So Charles, explain to me. Look, we're talking about this Shannon Sharpe thing that has broken over the last couple of days, and I don't know what the hell is going on. Can you please make it make sense? He was in a relationship with this woman. She's an OnlyFans star, and then all of a sudden now she has filed a lawsuit. What has happened?
Well, the heart of it, Don, of why she's filed this lawsuit, she is alleging that there were two occasions that Shannon raped her. One of them being back in October of 2024, and the other being in January of this year. And yeah, they had a relationship. That much is clear. Had a relationship for a couple of years. Now, his attorneys have described this as, and it certainly seems this way in the text messages they released, that this was not a like, we're going out on dates, we're going to events together. This was a sexual relationship. When they were in the same town, they would hook up and they would have sex. And we have seen in these text messages a lot more than I ever wanted to know about Shannon Sharpe's sexual endeavors in the bedroom, but it is all laid out there in these text messages, very graphic between them.
Okay.
But she says that there were two occasions and that where it was not consensual, and that's what she's suing him for $50 million over.
Okay, Charles, so which came first? Because there are text messages and there's a phone call. So as you were reporting this story, what came first, chicken or the egg? Was it the phone call that came out that was recorded, and then they released the text messages afterwards saying, hey, look, this was consensual? Do I have that part correct?
So what happened, the order was that the lawsuit was filed, and then her attorney, Tony Busby, we know that name, heard that name a lot in the last couple of years, but Tony Busby released the phone conversations, the recorded phone conversations. And then Shannon's attorney released the text messages, a torrent of text messages. I mean, there's 500 pages plus of text messages that he's released. So
okay, so let's listen to the phone call, right, Charles, and then we'll talk about it. So this is the phone call that was released by her attorney. What's her name again? Amber or something?
Shannon has referred to as Gabby.
Gabby, that's right. Gabby. Okay, here we go. Here's a phone call.
Well, you're coming to LA tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Gabby.
Well, okay.
Okay, what?
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah, I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
Not a good look that you do with the shit you did to me.
Okay, well...
Okay, So then that came out, and it does seem like, you got choking and all of that, but they're saying, Charles, it is consensual. And again, we have a connectivity issue. Charles is there. Now we can see Charles. So I'm glad that we can now see you on the YouTube. Okay, so then what is that about? And then what happened next?
Yeah, I mean, the phone conversation is real. People have picked this apart because there are all these long silences. I mean, there are 2 calls that were released. Each of them were, I think, one was 1 minute 30, the other one was 2 minutes. But 90% of it is just dead silence. But when they're speaking, now, when you hear him talking about choking her, and the other call also made a reference to choking her, Shannon says this is role playing. This is something that they did. They had rough sex. They would do role playing, and that's what you're hearing there is them just playing characters where he's talking about choking her in public, and she's meekly going along with it, or that's his version of it. That's certainly not what she is saying. She and her attorney released these phone recordings because they believe it shows that he was violent toward her, and that is supports her allegation that he raped her in October. I gotta say the rape allegation is interesting. You remember last year when Shannon Sharpe went live on Instagram accidentally, while
quote
he
unquote
was
accidentally, and then he became a spokesperson for Rose Sparks
yeah.
ED pills.
Exactly. I believe the phrase is in flagrante. He was in the middle of having sex when he went live on Instagram. Well, apparently that was not with her. And when she heard that, when she saw that, she confronted him about it. And she is alleging that that's when the rape occurred, that he had an angry reaction to her confronting him over that. And that's when the rape occurred. And then the second one was she says January 6th, that he came over to her apartment with a gift, that he had a Christmas gift for her, and that's when they got into this sexual encounter that she was not consenting to that's what she's saying in her lawsuit.
Okay, and so then after that was out, they called it a shakedown. Several things that I want to get in here, Charles. Okay, so then the text messages. Let's put those text messages up and let Charles explain us about this.
I get to read them? I mean, they are very graphic. And are we going to put them up?
Sorry, I need to get them still.
Do we have them? Are we having crazy connectivity issues? What is going on, guys?
You did freeze up for me. You froze up for a second there, Don, but seems fine now. Nope, frozen again.
Are we having crazy connectivity issues? Charles, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me, Don?
Yeah, Charles. So we have the text messages. Did we put the text messages up?
Stand by for the text messages.
Okay, so Charles, tell us what happened to the text messages, please. What
Well,
happened?
I mean, the text messages are, and I got to say that, his Shannon's attorney, Lanny Davis, released all of these text messages. A lot of them are from before. Some of them go back as far as 2023. They're from before the alleged rape, but he released all of them because he wants to paint the picture of this is the kind of relationship they had. And they describe the kind of sex they're going to have. There is a lot of descriptions of rough sex, of choking. They talk a lot about having anal sex. They talk a lot about meeting out someplace. And clearly there are things that sound like role playing. And I think that's why I know that's why they released all of them, even though a lot of them are from before the alleged rape. They want to paint the picture of this is the kind of relationship they have. The other thing that is interesting that Shannon himself said is that there is a sex tape that he fully expects Tony Busby to release at some point. And he made a reference to this. He said he knows exactly when this is from. This is from the January 6th incident that she is calling a rape. He is calling consensual. He said that video should be 10 minutes long, release the entire thing so that people have the full context, because Shannon's fear clearly is that if they release just a portion of it, it is going to seem like potentially it could look like it was non-consensual and this was a sexual assault. But he's saying if you see the full context of it, you would know that they're role playing.
I know you missed my big juicy. You guys talked about that on the show because I think Harvey made you read it because he did not want to read it. He said, I want you to put.
You're gonna put me through it again, Don? You're gonna re-traumatize me?
This is from Lanny Davis, by the way, and I do know Lanny Davis. Lanny Davis was also, I think, involved in. I think he represented Michael Cohen during the Trump thing. He says, I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while you're blanking me. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's from Gabriella. And then he says, I know you know, or then she says, I know you missed my big juicy, you know what, 25K each for each cheek. That's what she sent, one of those. And those, I think, is that the only two? There may be others.
Oh, there are a raft of text messages.
Oh, I see. I want to put my tongue in your, hole and then marry you. And then she said, that's my daddy F. I want you to put a big black baby in me. You better crave it because you're going to be stuck with it for life after you put a big black baby in me.
Yeah.
Only if you put that baby gravy in me, then I can do whatever I want to me. Wow.
Don, I'm telling you, that's like a page of we had people in this office reading through the whole thing. There's a lot of people blushing, and that takes a lot for people in this office to blush. But they were
Charles, you know what this sounds like? Have you ever heard of? Look, I wanted to. Let me just be very transparent with you, and I know you don't have much time, but when you go on shows and they ask you, what do you want to talk about, and what do you find interesting these days? And I was going on the Bill Maher show, and I said, I find this whole thing that is bubbling up in the zeitgeist that no one is talking about, and that is race play as it relates to interracial relationships. And I forget how it sparked or whatever, because we were talking about Bill and interracial relationships or whatever with the producers. We didn't talk about it on the show, but that has now come up in the zeitgeist because of this, that this is somehow race play, role playing in their relationship, where one person is a slave or another person is the master, or you know what I mean? Or you're my big black.
I know exactly what I mean. When you read these text messages, it's hard not to see it that way. And that's Shannon's version of it. He says that's exactly what we were doing. That's I'm sure that would be his explanation for that phone conversation where he just says to her, big black man chokes little white woman. That's his version of it. Now, I don't know.
I've never seen you at a loss for words.
I don't know. I mean, I want to be respectful of the fact that she feels that something else happened. He is painting a far different picture. What's interesting is that neither of them is really hiding anything. They're putting it all out there, and Shannon's daring him to release the whole 10-minute sex tape. They clearly, neither side is trying to hide any of what happened between them, but they are characterizing all of it in completely different ways. And the other thing that's interesting, that Shannon's lawyer admits that they tried to pay her. They offered her. He said tens of millions of dollars. Then he said at least $10 million before the lawsuit was filed. They were clearly in some negotiations. And we know that this is what Tony Busby does. He's told us this, himself on the record, said that when I have a client, I will contact the person that they are suing, that they want to sue. I'll contact them, give them a warning letter to say, this is what we intend to do. Do you want to engage in negotiations? And it sounds like Shannon and his attorney did exactly that, but they could not reach a number that she was happy with. And he says, the offer was at least $10 million, and she didn't take it. So how do you read that? How does that play?
Wow. Okay. So I know Charles, you get to go. Do you have 2 minutes for me so I
Yeah,
can play
sure,
his
sure.
response? Okay. All right. Let's play. This is so. As you said, they're not hiding. Okay, everyone, they're not hiding. How old is she? Someone said she's 19. I don't believe she's 19.
No. She's of age. She's
She's
20.
20
I don't
something.
know for sure, but I think she's 21, 22, something like that. She is considerably younger
He's
than Shannon.
56, I believe. Okay,
Yeah.
look, I don't want to age shame anyone. I don't want to kink shame anyone. Your kink is your kink. And look,
Right.
I'm in an interracial relationship, but there ain't no shit like that going on. Let me tell you, okay?
Listen, I know what you're saying, Don. I don't want to kink shame anyone, but
Yeah.
that has never
Hey.
happened in any relationship I've been in, interracial or otherwise, where no.
Yeah.
But
You,
but
you
listen,
do you.
I'm not a prude. I'm not a prude at all. I understand that people are into this, and that's fine.
People got their thing. Let them do their thing.
And it's
Okay.
all good as long as it's consensual on both sides, right? As long as everybody is like, this is what we're doing, everyone's on board, go for it.
Yeah. They're saying she was 19 when he met her, but I mean, 19 is of age, right? I mean, 18 isn't the, yeah. Okay. But there is a big age difference. Okay. So Shannon responded to it. Here he is.
My family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
All right, so he's not backing up $50 million. Damn, that's a lot of money. And folks are saying, he is saying it's a shakedown. You know, when I talked to you about, what is the Blake Lively situation?
Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni.
And, you know, public opinion. So is this a shakedown? How are people seeing this? How are they reading this? Because I know what the streets are saying in the black community, but I don't know what Hollywood is saying about it.
It's very similar, but yeah, look, I think if you're taking the temperature of public opinion, I've just been reading comments on social media. Most people think that it is a shakedown. That's not to say that it is, but that is the opinion of most people in the public that I've seen on social media from people who've called into TMZ Live. That's kind of the feeling that they have, but we just don't know, right? I mean, we have no idea. It's certainly the fact that the part that feels like a shakedown is that Tony Busby very openly says they have these negotiations with people before they file the lawsuit. And you've heard Shannon come forward and say that that's exactly what happened. That's why Shannon knows that he has this video that they are, allegedly going to release, because I'm sure that was part of the negotiation, and why Shannon offered her at least $10 million. But the fact that she didn't take that $10 million, to me, that kind of reads like, okay, then maybe this isn't a shakedown, because if it was a shakedown, why wouldn't you just take the $10 million? We're reading tea leaves here, but who knows?
Well, I know that when things like that, people say, "Oh, you're guilty because you offered someone $10 million." They don't understand it. I think that you can explain this. That when you're a celebrity or you're a high-profile person, some people will call this. I'm not saying that's what it is, but a nuisance case, right?
Yeah.
So, and to avoid the publicity, and you're going to end up spending that money on lawyers anyways, going down a lot of money. You may as well just get it off the table, have them sign an NDA or whatever. Just give them the money just to get it out of the way, even if you are innocent, right?
$10 million, you're right. And I mean, the thing that's happening in the background here, and maybe not too far in the background, Shannon's podcast, Club Shay Shay, is a tremendous hit. He's in the middle of negotiations for his next contract for that podcast. And there are reports that it could be up to $200 million that he's getting for that. And that was out publicly. He's talked about those negotiations. And that's another reason why people think this is a shakedown, because he was public about how much that podcast contract was going to be. And now people think that she is merely trying to get a slice of that pie. I don't know if that's fair to her, but that's part of the reason why the public opinion seems to be leaning towards Shakedown.
You saw what Monique said when she was on his show, right? Did you
Everybody
see that?
is pulling up all the old clips from Club Shay Shay, from Monique,
Cat
Williams, where people have spoken to him about not dating younger women, not dating white women. The Monique clip is hilarious because Monique is just hilarious. But
I know you have to go, but I'm gonna play it because after you leave.
Let's do it.
You want to hear it? Okay, let's play it.
I do want to hear it.
All right, here's Monique.
Mo is different now than when you and I.
It's different, baby. I'm grateful I'm not 56 and trying.
Are you trying to say that? What you trying to say?
I'm looking right at you.
I know you looking at your
I ain't backing down. You better take your old ass and get somebody to love you.
Damn, Mo.
Now I'm looking right at y'all. Let me tell y'all what Shannon needs.
Let me
tell you what my baby needs. He need him an old fat gal who can bake good cakes, make some smothered turkey wings, who gonna rub his feet at the nighttime, okay, and gonna have a sip of his cognac to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night. That's what Shannon needs. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl. This is your auntie talking to you. Take your old ass and get you an old bitch out there that can love you old. You trying to hang out with these young bitches and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it. Dang. When they want you to go for the 4th round, you looking at her like, bitch, listen, you want some money to go to Starbucks?
Yeah,
because I can't go no further. But if you get your older girl, when you get to that 4th round, she's going to say, hold on. Let me go get you some eggs and cheese and some toast with apple butter, because that's going to get your energy back up. I'm talking right to you. Shit. So he thought I was going to be scared. Yes, I'm talking. And I know an old gal, she'll be good to you. These young gals will bite you.
Can Monique please run a dating service?
Don't sleep on Monique, Charles. I'm saying.
Because it sounds good. It sounds really good. You know, Don, I know you know Dion Cole, right?
Yes.
Dion
I know
Cole,
Dion, the comedian.
He refers to he says vintage honeys. There's nothing better than a vintage honey. So
Dion Cole's was Black-ish. He was a co-worker of Anthony Anderson on Black-ish.
Yeah.
One more. Cat Williams. Here it is.
I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not going to act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not going to act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends.
Was the Lord speaking to Shannon Sharpe?
That's how Cat comes across, right? Making an obvious reference there to Jonathan Majors,
yeah.
But I don't know how this is all going to turn out. I mean, in the past I'd always say like this is the kind of case that settles somehow, right? Even though they tried to before the lawsuit, that it'll settle. But Tony Busby is a wild card. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
I just don't know.
Well, this story has everything. It's got age, it's got race play, role play, slave play,
lots of sex, and big, huge sums of money.
This story is right up TMZ's alley. 30-mile zone right there. Thank you, Charles.
All right.
You got anything new? You got anything breaking that you want to add to this pot of
I came in this morning. I was like, because for the last 3 mornings, there's been something every morning. I've been like, all right, what's going to drop now? Nothing yet. Nothing yet. But Charles, I'll get back to you when there is.
You guys are great. We love you there. Sorry about the bad connection and the tech, but that's
all
how
good.
TV.
This is what we do.
Charles Latibeaudiere, thank you
all
so
right,
much.
Don.
TMZ. The folks over at TMZ are always honest about their thing. They're rarely, if ever, wrong. And this story is just amazing. Everybody is talking about this story. As I said, it has got race, role playing, sex, tawdry, age, they're claiming extortion, all kinds of stuff. And by the way, initially, this is what I wanted Hot Topics to be about. Not necessarily this salacious, but I thought that there was, Wendy was gone and there was a need out there for someone to do Hot Topics. I talked to Sherry. Sherry says, I'm not doing that. My show is different. I said, okay, I'm going to do the Hot Topics. And this is what I wanted it to be about, just like stories that were, in popular culture and that kind of thing, or just stories that were beyond politics. Because I was like, I'm so tired of politics. We always do. And then Trump went and got himself reelected again. Damn. And he takes over everything. Now, what do you guys think? I want to know. What do you guys think? Do you think it is a shakedown? Do you think Shannon should know better? As people say, I mean, I'm just quoting Shannon. When people said Shannon old ass should know better than to mess with these young girls. Monique said it. What do you think? Let me know. Wow, what a way to start off a Thursday morning. I will tell you that it is all out there. There's no reason for a shakedown now. She is too young for Shannon, but still, that's the work she do. That's not a relationship. That's an exchange, says Veronica Williams. Interesting. Someone said Busby struck gold. I am here for the Hot Topics, baby, says Tina Wooldridge. I love this. You got to mix it up, says Margarita on the Rocks, right? I agree. Let me know what you think about this. Definitely salacious, but even bad publicity is good publicity, says T. Sams. You think this is good publicity, T. Sams, when he is trying to negotiate $100 or $200 million contract? Are they going to want that? Probably, because it does put him in the headlines. I mean, tell me do you think I'm wrong? It does put him in the headlines. And if you're out here in this streaming world, I don't think this matters. Maybe if he was on ESPN now in some sort of traditional corporate media role, then they'd be okay. But out here on these streaming streets, I think anything goes. Nothing. I always tell people, nothing matters. I have friends who are still in traditional media and they're like, I don't know. Should I do this? What should I do? I'm like, nothing matters. But it matters if you're on corporate media. You got to watch yourself, especially like Shannon would not be able, I don't believe would be able to survive this on corporate media unless he was a MAGA person. Unless you're conservative, then they're paying you to do stuff like this. But if you're on the liberal side or the fact side, they don't care. Nope, you're fired. You're gone. Too salacious. Can't do that. Nope. But if you're a MAGA person, you can say whatever you want. You can insult black people. You can insult women. You can do whatever you want. And you get a pass and you probably get a raise. Don't believe me? Talk to some of my former colleagues. They'll tell you. And the truth shall make you free. Okay, you know what else? Nothing is free, and it's not free to be on these streaming streets. And that's why I'm so glad that we do have support. So support today for the Don Lemon Show comes from Shopify. I'm just going to tell you, go to shopify.com/lemon right now. Can you guys do it? Impressions do count. If you guys go and just go click on it and check it out, look, it's $1 for the first month. You may as well do it, right? But just go check. It doesn't cost you anything to go on shopify.com/lemon to just go check out the site and see. They can help you with a website, all kinds of things. Okay. So look, I know that in these tough times now, people are thinking about starting their own businesses. They're tired of working for people. They're tired of working for somebody else. They want to work with themselves, for themselves. And so if you're trying to do that, look, starting a business, becoming an entrepreneur is not easy. I know, I just became one. Okay. So it can be overwhelming. You need a website, you need a payment system, you need a logo, you need to advertise, you need new customers and all of that. By the way, I'm not done with the story we were talking about, so stand by for that. So you need all of those things. You need to be able to advertise to new customers. It can be overwhelming and confusing, but thankfully that is where today's sponsor Shopify comes in. Shopify makes it super easy to create your own website and is easy to set up your merch store. So we're working on our merch now. They're actually in the process of doing it. And guess what? When it's out, we're going to set up our e-commerce site using Shopify. Okay? Shopify is a commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world. 10% of all e-commerce in the US, guess what? It's Shopify, whether it's Untuckit or whether it's Allbirds or just your brands that are just getting started. Like mine, I'll just be honest. So if you need a website design, if you need a hand, they've got all of it for you. Very simple templates for that. And they can help you with AI tools. People haven't heard about your brand. They'll help you come up with a strategy. They'll help you come up with a social media campaign strategy. Okay. So if you get stuck, 24-hour customer service. They're always around for support. So turn your dreams into, I love that, ka-ching. Turn your dreams into ka-ching and give them the best shot at success with Shopify. So sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/lemon. Go to shopify.com/lemon. Shopify.com/lemon and turn your dreams into ka-ching. Check it out. It's $1 for the first month if you go to shopify.com/lemon. Okay. So, y'all, I want to know, let's read some comments. Do we have any more? I want to see some more stuff. Do we have any more content on TMZ? I want to play this because we had this technical difficulty with Charles. Okay, I want to continue to talk about this story because I think it's really, really, really important. We talk about race in this country. We talk about women. We talk about shaming. I don't want to shame anybody. But look, a good story, a juicy story is a juicy story. And this is going to play out very publicly. And so, yes, this is a juicy story. Someone says, Dom with the bell. You better know it. We're bell. Every time that bell rings, an angel gets his wings. And that means me. We are happy to have sponsors. But it does, look, sponsors depend on impressions. So all of you lemon heads, all of you people who are part of the Lemon Nation, just go to shopify.com/lemon. Even if you're just cruising the website and checking it out. The impression that you're going there with that by using those, I guess what you would call it, shopify.com/lemon, that you're using that is very important to us. So go check it out. Okay, so this is going to play out very publicly. And I tried to tell the Bill Maher producers, I tried to tell them about this race play thing because my friends and I talk about it. And I'm not talking about just gay friends, like straight friends, all kinds of friends are like, what is up with this race play thing? It's been happening a lot. Like, I'm just telling you, this is stuff that you talk about. Let's talk, okay? Can we talk about this? This is stuff that you talk about like over beers or drinks or cocktails, and when you're sitting around with your bros or with your girlfriends, or when you're like, what is this shit with this race play that these people are doing? There's a woman on social media. She's a trans woman. She said, look, I just want to tell you, black men, this quote, her quote, not mine. She said, black men are the real bed wenches now. And I'm like, what? And she said, it's because of this race play thing. So, hey, baby, you're my big black buck, right? That kind of thing. Or I want your white whatever. I think is even like master or superior stuff that they say about. I'm telling you, it's some weird shit. No, I'm telling you, this is how you talk after a couple of margaritas. So I'm going on to tell you, but now this stuff is coming to light with this. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? Tell me if you know what I'm talking about. Tell me if you have heard of this. It may make you uncomfortable. Someone says it's diabolical. Yes. So just stupid. So you guys, yeah, not a bed wench. But have you guys heard about? Yes, we know. Okay, thank you. Because people are afraid to talk about this stuff. People are afraid to talk about this stuff, except not, at least publicly. Never heard of that race play. Oh, Janice, you're going to learn today. Okay, so listen, you're going to learn today, Janice. I'm just telling you, this is a story about a man named Sharpe who was dating an OnlyFans model. She did not have hair of gold like her fellow models. She was a brunette. That's where we are. Okay, so this is TMZ discussing the Shannon Sharpe scandal, and I want you to hear it plainly and clearly because we had technical difficulties with Charles Latibeaudiere from TMZ, but this is them discussing it on the program. Here it is.
Strap yourself in because we're about to tell you something that's pretty shocking. So you know the story about Shannon Sharpe being sued by a woman, it looks like a former girlfriend, who says that he sexually assaulted her. He came back saying,
denying it altogether,
not true.
saying this is a shakedown. She's just trying to get money out of me. And he puts a lot of blame on her attorney, Tony Busby, as well.
This is the Tony Busby as in the Diddy lawsuits.
Correct. Tony Busby is representing the Jane Doe. She's filed as Jane Doe. But this morning, Tony Busby dropped an audio recording that he says his client made. It was a phone conversation between herself and Shannon, and they get into an argument, and you will hear what Shannon said to her, and then we'll get into Shannon's response to this.
I don't know. Anything I say, you're just gonna like get mad at, and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
what does that even mean?
Nothing yet. You want to be a to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke out of you when I see you. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in the matter.
Wow. Yeah. So the part obviously bleeped out, just to be clear. I'm going to bleeping choke the out of you the next time I see you.
Okay,
now,
pause
what's
now.
interesting is the
Okay,
end
here's
of that.
the thing. Can you guys imagine, though? I like Shannon. I like Shannon a lot. I asked Shannon to be on the show. He said, I will eventually. I'm very busy right now, whatever. So anyways, but still, I like Shannon. This is messy. I can imagine having this sort of thing out there. Maybe he's okay with it. I don't know, because he did have the tape with, I think it was, where was it? Instagram or wherever he went on, or I think it was Instagram where he went live by accident. And I don't know. And then he became a spokesperson for Rose Sparks after that. And then he made fun of it, saying it's the Rose Sparks or whatever. And then he made fun of all of it. So I don't know. Maybe he's okay with it. And if he's okay with it, then he's okay with it. But can you imagine? I can't. So I feel bad for him that. And then it's always like, people feel weird, like they don't want to shame the woman, right? Because this is very serious stuff if someone is claiming this stuff, right? We get so, caught up in the salaciousness in all of it and the intrigue, like, ooh, messy, oh, what are they talking about? But then perhaps there's a real victim here, right? Innocent until proven guilty, but also she's making some very serious claims. And if this did happen to her, terrible. Terrible. And now because I think she filed it as a Jane Doe. And I'm not exactly sure how her name was revealed, but he said her name, Gabby, also known as such and such on OnlyFans. So that's the thing here. Like, you have to tread lightly, but also you have to realize there are two sides to every story. Most of the people are saying, oh, it's a shakedown. But then there are women who have been affected by SA. And they're like, people don't make these claims lightly. So I don't know. I want to know what the ladies have to say. How you feel about this. And you know what? I want to hear from some of us old heads, because I know that older women feel a certain kind of way about these things. And then younger people have a different feeling about these things as well. So I want to hear, and we're going to, if you guys, producers, if you can identify some of the comments where we can talk about it, but let's continue to play this.
That conversation where he says, you don't have a choice in the matter. One of the things that Shannon said in response to this when the lawsuit was filed is that they had a relationship where there was a lot of role playing. So this was a consensual relationship for over several months where they did role playing. There was rough sex. And he admitted to this, and his lawyer released what he says are text messages from this woman sent to Shannon, where she said things like...
But we should say, this is going to be really graphic, folks.
Yes. I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while you're blanking me.
By the way, and I should say that the choking aligns with what he says was going on, which is what you just described.
Right. I know you missed this big, juicy... Oh, you're not going to read some of these?
Nope, you're the reader.
I know you missed this big, juicy blank, $25K for each cheek. You better crave it because you're going to be stuck with it for life after you put a big black baby...
So what they're saying with these texts is that it aligns with the nature of the relationship, which they're talking about.
So Shannon this morning, after Tony Busby released that audio recording, Shannon decided he wanted to respond. Now, actually recorded a video. He's not responding to the audio recording itself. He's responding to the overall lawsuit and says there are actually more recordings that he expects to come out.
This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about.
So to kind of translate this, I think what he's saying is Tony Busby contacted Shannon Sharpe or his rep and said, give us $50 million or we're going to release, and whatever it was that included a 30-second video, because he seemed to know, about the 30 seconds.
Right.
Okay.
And saying that if you look at it.
All right. This is a lot. I mean, don't you think this is a lot, y'all? Someone is saying that they believe ESPN might fire him. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so Eris, we'll pause it there. Eris says, not a shakedown. And there were some other comments that were up. Let's look at the comments, because I'm noticing a difference between ages of people. I've noticed that since the Me Too era. That I'm just generalizing here, okay? So don't get it twisted. I've noticed that older women in general have a different feeling than some of the younger women as it relates to Me Too. Now, that's not everybody, but I'm generalizing here. I've spoken to older women who say, and I'm quoting here, I hate the Me Too movement because, and they hate it, they say, because these things happen that are real, and they believe that people have made a business out of it. Some of it, not all of it, obviously, not all of it. They also think, like, when I spoke to an older woman about the phone call, and when I speak to a younger woman about the phone call, they say, this is, she's uncomfortable. Obviously, she's uncomfortable. Why is he pushing her? And then when I speak to an older woman about the phone call, they say, why didn't she hang up on his ass? Do you guys see what I'm saying? And then, an older woman, the older women say, and I'm generalizing, you're playing with fire because why is he dating an OnlyFans star that they believe this is her business and that she is younger? Number two, why is he messing with someone who's that young? And then the younger people say, don't shame her. What do they don't, I don't know, sex shame her or whatever for her profession. And don't age shame, because she can date whatever. Just because she does that, it doesn't mean that she deserves that sort of treatment. And then someone in the comments, an older woman would say, why didn't she ever call the police? And then someone would say, well, it's hard. People don't call the police in this situation. So again, I'm generalizing here. I know that that is what people say. And then others say, hey, this just sounds like role play to me. I don't know, but it's tough, man. I got to tell you, this one is something else. Shall I read some more comments? Let's put some more comments up, guys. Let's read some. It seems like a setup, but I need more details. Okay. Someone said, role play gone bad. I don't see how this is different from Me Too. That's what Curry Favor says. Monique told him, someone said, Monique told him to leave the young women alone, and she was on his show, not putting her in fallback. I don't know what that means. They're not putting her in fallback. Why is this just a civil suit and not a criminal if it's not a setup? I'm not an attorney, so I don't know why it's not, because I guess in a criminal thing he'd have to be arrested and blah blah blah. I don't know. Younger women don't know the manipulation tactics yet. That's why old goats like Shannon target them. Someone says you have to talk to someone who knows about the kink community. I don't know if I want to go there. I'm an older black woman. Shannon knew better. He fell for the oldest trick, says Angelina Knox. He got, says Sonia. Veronica, Sherry, but Veronica, but she's not 15. She's 19 years old. That's grown. And that's her true, if that's what she deserves, what she puts out. No, she's not. She was 19 when they met. But I don't, look, no one deserves if what she's alleging is true. Time with the Queen's Theater Music says, yes, women starting to be disgusted with men who want you for sex. Eye candy turns into eating the whole bag. Peace for Lisa says, Don, these young girls are out here trying to get the bag. Shannon fell for the setup. Wow. Stand by for news. Shannon's attorney is texting me. Let's see. I don't know. Sorry, y'all. This is important business. So I know his attorney well. Let's see what happens. Maybe he'll say later or whatever. Or I can call you on speaker. You guys see how we do it? So usually when in the old days, I would just take a screen grab and say, Shannon's attorney is texting me, and the producers would handle it in the back room. Okay. Got it. Okay. Can't without permission of the legal team. We're going to get them on, though. Get permission, Lanny. Call you right after. So look, I got to do what I got to do. I got to watch these text messages because people can see it on the TikTok. Okay. Someone says it's true. I don't know if this is still the situation. Sometimes police don't do a thing. In the old days, I think that was true. Maybe it does happen sometimes now, but I think people take this very, very seriously right now. She saw a sugar daddy, in my opinion. Okay. Again, I don't know all the details. Because it's a shakedown, that's why she didn't hang up. I believe the role play on the phone, and this time she is using it for money, says KK. Now, I'm reading only women, okay? Oh, this is a guy. I'm not going to read that one. I'm reading only women because I want to hear from the ladies. She was nothing but a sugar baby that was replaced with an upgrade, says Angela. Man, you ladies are tough. Nisi says she never hung up because she was setting him up from the giddy up. 54-year-old female here. Danny says he's a dummy. Again, only women I'm going to read. These girls seek the kind of stuff out to get paid and they're winning. SS is stupid. Wow. Glam Glow, Atlanta. Interesting. I understand. Look, these are the comments. I'm not victim blaming. I know people are concerned about victim blaming. I'm reading your comments. This is what the public is saying. And she is a victim, but we don't know if what's alleged is true. And there's a lot of comments from women here. And I just want to know how the women feel. I want to know how the women feel. Someone says, I have zero sympathy for his old ass. Oh, Lord. Someone says, we black women don't care. Wow. Okay. Well, you guys, I don't want to blame victims, but I know. Okay, so here's the thing. When people talk about, there are people in the comments saying, I hate Democrats because they do the stuff like victim blaming and all of that, when people just want to hear the truth about whatever the truth is. And look, as a survivor, I know that it is tough, but I also know that people usually don't lie about these situations, but there are people who take advantage. And do a poll. I don't know if I want to do a poll. Let's see. I think this person is. I'm going through these now. Let's see. Someone said both can be true, and I lost that person's thing. I agree. This is what I agree with. I agree with this one. Luck Dragon says due process. When people say, look, as a survivor, when people say believe all victims or believe, I don't believe that. I think innocent until proven guilty. You should take it seriously. You should take every single accusation seriously, but you should not believe every single accusation, because if you believe every single accusation, then there is no due process. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you have to say, okay, this is an allegation, take it seriously, have it investigated. And then the other person says, this is not true, and says, okay, the other person is alleging, we'll see, let it play out. Due process. So I don't believe in that, because I think that there are people who have not been able to get their reputations back after being accused falsely of things. So I feel like it's an expensive lesson. Whew. Okay. Man, oh man. Did we expect to start the day like this? Okay. So, wow. I mean, I want to stop reading these comments, but I've never seen this comment section so crazy. His reputation is gone. Do you believe his reputation is gone? Dr. Umar, calling. No, I'm Dr. Umar. You know, can't do that. I think could be true. 45 here. Both lives are ruined no matter how you look at it. Elvin, no, guys, I'm only reading women. Okay. Wow. All right, so listen, let's talk about some things real quick before we get out of here, because I want to do, I like to get the business because I want to have an informed electorate. Okay, we'll move on and we'll table this until later on, perhaps on the program. So I told you that I wasn't going to bombard you with everything that had to deal with Donald Trump. Okay, because it's just way too much. But I was going to tell you what's true and what is not. What's true and what is not. So this is, I want to read something. This is from an article from Daniel Dale over at the CNN, because Donald Trump has been saying a lot of things when he has those photo ops in the Oval Office, or he's just been going on and people have been saying, oh my God, the prices are down, eggs are down, groceries are down, gas is down. You know, we called them groceries. You know what we used to call them in the old days? People still call them groceries. But the devil is a liar. Because people believe that. I mean, every time I say, oh my God, the price of eggs is crazy. And then someone, inevitably, a MAGA person in the comments will go, eggs are down. And then Donald Trump, because Donald Trump said the price of eggs are down. And they ain't. It's not down. Okay, so let's just do some fact checking real quick. And then we're going to do, remember the New York Times did a fact check on Doge. Is this all a scam? Is this all like, are they pulling the wool over our eyes? So let's read through this article. Just real quick, some of the highlights from Daniel Dale, okay? Just so you know. Okay, so gas, groceries, eggs. Over the last week, President Donald Trump has lied the price of all of them, using the repeated deception to try to minimize widespread concerns that his tariffs will fuel inflation. I like to show you, remember I told you, I like evidence, I like arithmetic, I like math. Gas, okay? You guys ready for gas? Trump claimed last Thursday that gas prices hit $1.98 yesterday in a couple of states. That wasn't true. Are you listening, MAGA brains in the comments? I paid $10 for 24 eggs. Down where, says Nikki D on TikTok. Okay. That wasn't true. No state had an average gas price below $2.70 per gallon on Wednesday, according to data from AAA, which reported a national average of $3.17 per gallon. This guy is a liar. And the lowest individual Wednesday price found the firm Gas Buddy, which tracks tens of thousands of gas stations across the country, was $2.19 at one station in Texas. They will believe anything that comes out of his mouth. Keep going. Keep going. The White House couldn't substantiate Trump's claim. Now, again, they asked, couldn't substantiate. The White House couldn't substantiate Trump's claim when CNN inquired and added the new false claim that gas prices in middle America are at crowd lows. Then Trump said the next day that 3 states had hit $1.98 per gallon on Thursday. There was no basis for that either. The lowest AAA state average on Thursday was also $2.70 per gallon, and Gas Buddy again found no stations selling for less than $2.19 per gallon. Why do you guys keep falling for this man's lies? And the administration, why do you guys keep falling for this? It's all lies, lies, and more lies. Okay, so groceries. Trump claimed last Thursday and Friday that grocery prices are down, and then claimed Tuesday that they have come down. False again. That's false again. Average grocery prices in March were up by about 0.49% from February. That's according to Federal Consumer Price Index data, which was the biggest month-to-month jump since October of 2022. These people are lying and playing in your face. Do you hear me, MAGA brain sycophants? They are lying and playing in your face, and you are falling for it. You believe everything comes out of this man's mouth, and if his lips are moving, he is lying. Grocery prices jumped, the biggest jump since October of 2022. Average grocery prices in March were also up about 2.41% from the previous March, the biggest year-over-year jump since August of 2023. yet you fall for it. And every time I say it's up, you know what you say? You say, no, it's down. The president said it's down. The president is lying to you. These increases happened before Trump imposed 10% tariffs in early April on imports from most countries, which are certain to raise the prices of some grocery items. Are you tired of winning? Someone asked, are we great again? Robert Clement on TikTok. Are we great again, Roberto? Are we great now? When is the greatness coming? When are the lower prices coming that he promised within hours after? I'm going to just give him a 1. He said hours or days. I'll give him days after he took office. The wars were supposed to be over in Gaza, Israel, and in Russia, Ukraine. Eggs were supposed to be down. Groceries were supposed to be down. Gas was supposed to be down. The stock market was supposed to soar. The economy was supposed to roar and soar. Seriously, tell me, where is the evidence of any of that? I'm willing to, like I said yesterday when they said Donald Trump did not go with Elon Musk's recommendation that Howard Lutnick should be the Treasury Secretary. Instead, he went with Scott Bessent. And I said, that was a smart move, Donald Trump, smart. So when you do something right and smart, I will tell you. But this whole tariff thing is dumb. Okay, let's talk about eggs. You guys want to know about eggs? Egg prices have spiked over the past year amid bird flu outbreak, Trump claimed Tuesday. That, as you know, the cost of eggs has come down like 93 or 94% since we took office. That's what he said. That is wildly inaccurate. This is according to the Daniel Dale over at the CNN. A decline of 93-94% from the national average consumer cost of a dozen large grade A eggs in January, about $4.95, would mean that eggs are now costing consumers under 38 cents per dozen. Oh, Jesus. Any grocery shopper can tell you that it is nowhere close to true. In March, the national average price hit a record high of about $6.23 per dozen. It's very possible the April average is lower. The data will be published in May, but clearly not nearly as low as Trump said. The White House has previously pointed to the wholesale egg prices as evidence of improvement, though those aren't the prices consumers pay in stores. Wholesale prices have declined substantially since late February, but again, not nearly as much as Trump claimed. As of Friday, the national wholesale price of a dozen large white eggs was $3.13, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, down from $6.55 on Friday after Trump took office on January 20th. That is a decline of about 52%, not 93 to 94%. Also, bird flu is easing up, which was the problem with eggs. The White House could not substantiate Trump's 93 to 94% claim either. Instead, spokesperson Anna Kelly emailed CNN a comment on Wednesday that asserted egg prices are down significantly under Trump because of his efforts to fight bird flu. Fact check. Trump falsely claims, keep going. Keep going. Prices are down. So there you go. That is your fact check. That is your, boy, we had a morning, didn't we? So guys, thank you. I appreciate all your comments. I appreciate your candor. And I appreciate you, many of you being sensitive about this topic, right? We don't want to victim blame. We don't want to do any of that, but people are going to say what they have to say. Thank you to Rebecca Conklin. Because of Rebecca Conklin's generosity, 20 people would get to become members of Elimination. Thank you. Simi is at it again. Simi, because of your generosity, 20 people get to become members of Elimination. Welcome to Ms. Sparks Up. Thank you for your generous support of the Elimination. Simi, I'm going to give you a big hug when I see you and meet you, okay? Peggy VC Days, welcome to the Elimination. Guys, make sure you hit the like button. make sure you hit the subscribe button. The like button is very important. That subscribe button is very important too. They both affect the algorithm, and it is important to the health and well-being of our channel. So all of our new members, Deatrice Peoples, everyone, welcome. Ed, welcome to the Elimination. Giggles, welcome to the Elimination. Giggles says, I paid $6.80 for a dozen eggs last night. He is just such a liar. All right, Giggles. Okay. I have to confess somewhere I made a Target purchase. I'm sorry, but they carry the only jeans that fit me like this. But I pre-ordered and did curbside to keep from getting sucked in. Chloe, we appreciate your support, but Chloe, you could have found them jeans somewhere else. Okay? All righty. So there we go. Anyway, so we'll see you back. We'll have a drop at 2 o'clock. We're going to be back live at 5. And we are going to, at 5 o'clock, we're going to talk to, you remember I told you about Jennifer over at the I've Had It With podcast, how she held Rahm Emanuel's feet to the fire, and she's doing that with other politicians and other guests on her show. Well, Jennifer Welch from the I've Had It podcast is going to be live with us live at 5 o'clock today, and we're going to play her interview with Rahm Emanuel, some of it, and we're going to talk to her about it and talk about what is going on in the world. We might have to discuss Shannon Sharpe with her to see how she feels about it, because Jennifer is very candid. She's very straightforward, and she tells it like it is. And it would be good to hear from a woman live how she feels about this story. At Sugi, thank you. The Trump way, promise everything, deliver nothing, blame someone else, repeat, rinse and repeat. You right about that. You damn Skippy about that. Okay, everybody. I appreciate it. So, Chloe, wear leggings on the jeggings. Oh, all right, guys. Right, wear leggings. Chloe, why are you going to the... You look, do what you want. You guys do what you want. But, you know, people are doing the boycott. Okay, you guys know what I always say. I'm so glad that you're here. Make sure you follow us on all the platforms. If you are watching us live on Instagram, thank you so much. Follow us, please. Come over to the YouTube for the full frontal big show experience where your comments get highlighted and you can become a member. You get special perks, all of that. And make sure you hit that thumbs up button. We had such great engagement today and not enough people hitting that like and hitting that thumbs up. Come on, y'all. What is wrong with you guys? Are you getting like the summer doldrums? Are you getting like lazy over the summer? It's not even that hot yet. You out there lazy, laissez-faire in the summer heat. Is that what y'all are doing? Okay, guys, I shall see you live at 5. And until then, you don't have to sit around all day and be bombarded with bullshit. You can turn the TV off. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never, ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will